I gave him my inheritance to start his dream business. He promised to build our future. A year later, I found a receipt for a hotel room. The front desk said, "They checked in yesterday." I waited in the parking lot until they came out laughing. He froze. She said, "This is why I never respected you." I didn't cry. But I took something from them that night that neither of them noticed until. My name is Marcy, and I live in Dayton, Ohio. I'm 38 now. This happened when I was 34 turning 35. If you've ever been lied to right to your face by someone you thought loved you, you already know how fast things can go from good to destroyed. My dad died in late 2019. Sudden heart attack. He was 67. Never smoked, barely drank, just worked hard his whole life. 2 jobs most of the time. Worked his hands raw so I could have a better life. We were close. He raised me alone after my mom left when I was 10. He wasn't perfect, but he was steady. Honest. You could count on him. I was a secretary at a dental clinic when it happened. Not glamorous. Barely paid the bills. I lived in a 1-bedroom apartment with my boyfriend of 4 years, Trey. We met at a car show in Kettering. He was the kind of guy who made people stop and listen. Good talker. Big smile. Loud laugh. Always had a dream. Trey's dream was to open a custom motorcycle garage. Said Dayton needed a place for real builders. He talked about it all the time. Just need the right shot, babe. Just need a real chance. When my dad passed, I found out he left me everything. I was shocked. The house. His savings. His life insurance. All of it. After the house was sold, I had just over $112,000. I told Trey everything that night. He looked at me like I'd handed him a golden ticket. "Mars," he said, grabbing my hands, "this could change our lives." We stayed up all night talking. He sketched out a plan. Tools, rent for a shop space, a lift, insurance, materials. He knew exactly what he wanted to do. He made it sound like our future. "I want to build this with you," he said. "You're my partner." I didn't think twice. I trusted him. I moved the money into a joint business account that was, stupidly, under his name only. He said it was temporary until the paperwork came through. "Just need to register the LLC in my name for now, then I'll add you once it's official." That's what he told me. I didn't ask for proof. I didn't ask for paperwork. I was just happy. Stupid and happy. For the first 6 months, it looked like it was working. Trey was always at the shop. He'd come home covered in grease, talking about bikes and clients and builds. He took photos of custom parts he made, even made a social media page. He looked alive in a way I'd never seen before. I was proud of him. Around the 7th month, things changed. He stopped bringing home updates. Said he was too tired to talk shop. He started coming home later and later. Sometimes not at all. When I asked, he'd say, "You don't trust me now? After all I've done?" One night I brought up the business registration again. He snapped. "I said I'd do it, Marcy." God, you're such a nag sometimes. I started to feel like I was bothering him just by being around. Then came the night that changed everything. Trey came home late. He tossed his wallet on the counter before going to the bathroom. I wasn't snooping. I swear I wasn't. I went to grab some cash to order a pizza. I opened it and saw a receipt sticking out. I wouldn't have looked twice, except it was from the Embassy Suites. 2 nights. Champagne package. King bed. Dated for the day before. I felt sick. Numb. I stared at it for a long time. The next morning, I drove there. Told the front desk I needed to drop off something for my brother. The woman behind the counter smiled and said, "Oh, they checked in yesterday." Want me to call the room? They. Not he. I sat in the parking lot for 6 hours. Didn't eat. Barely moved. Just waited. Around 3 p.m., the doors opened. Trey walked out first, laughing. Then her. She was tall, younger than me. Maybe late 20s. Long blonde hair. Tight jeans, crop top, leather jacket like she thought she was somebody. She had her arm wrapped around him like she'd owned him for years. When Trey saw me, his face dropped like he'd seen a ghost. He stopped walking. His mouth opened but no words came out. She didn't even flinch. She looked me right in the face, rolled her eyes, and said, "This is why I never respected you." Just like that. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I didn't say a damn thing. I got in my car and drove off. But that night, I didn't sleep. I just laid in bed and thought. About my dad. About my inheritance. About how Trey had used me. Lied to me. And how that girl, whoever she was, thought she could look down on me like I was nothing. They both took something from me. But I was going to take something back. Something they wouldn't even notice until it was already too late. I didn't go to work for 2 days. I told them I was sick. I didn't leave the apartment. I didn't answer Trey's texts. Yeah, he texted me like nothing happened. "You home? We need to talk. I can explain." I didn't block him. I wanted him to think I was still shocked. Still confused. Still the quiet, heartbroken girlfriend sitting in the apartment waiting for answers. I was planning something else. First thing I did was go through every piece of paperwork I had. I found the bank records from when I moved the inheritance into his business account. I found our texts. Emails where he talked about our future and our shop. I printed everything. I made copies. Then I started checking his social media accounts more closely. I looked at every post, every tagged photo, every comment. It didn't take long to find her. Her name was Kendra. I found her Instagram through one of the bike photos Trey posted a few months back. She'd left a comment, just a heart emoji, and he replied with fire emojis. That was 3 months before the hotel. She'd been around for a while. Kendra had a wellness brand. That's what she called it. She sold cheap face oils, bath scrubs, and fake detox tea online. Most of it looked like it came from dollar stores with fancy labels slapped on. She also posted selfies with Trey. Nothing obvious, but they were there. In the shop. In his truck. Once even in our apartment, my throw blanket was on the couch behind her. That one made me clench my teeth so hard I heard my jaw crack. I sent all those screenshots to a folder on a flash drive. I labeled it "for insurance." I wasn't sure why. Just liked how it sounded. Then I started moving in silence. I reached out to the building manager who owned the garage Trey rented. Her name was Arlene. She was in her 60s and handled the property herself. I called and told her I was thinking of opening a non-profit workshop to teach women basic mechanical skills. I made it sound legit. Told her I was looking for small garage space and heard Trey might be behind on rent. She confirmed it right away. "He's 3 weeks late again," she said. "Nice guy, but I can't run a charity." I asked if she'd be open to switching tenants. She said she was tired of chasing rent and if I could pay a month up front, she'd draw up the paperwork. I told her I'd drop off a cashier's check by the end of the week. Next step? I reached out to a cousin of mine, Shane. He works for a small independent blog in Dayton. He covers local stories, small scandals, city politics. He owed me a favor. I gave him everything. Every document. Every receipt. I told him the whole story. He was quiet for a long time after I finished. "You want me to run it?" he asked. No names, I said. Not mine. Not his. Just the facts. Just the truth. A week later, it went live. Dream shop or dirty scam? How one man's business was funded by lies and love. It wasn't viral. But Dayton's small. It got shared. And people talked. Clients started backing out. Comments rolled in. One guy posted, "Damn. I gave this dude a $2,000 deposit for a custom job. He's been ghosting me. Trey didn't know I was behind it. He showed up at the apartment drunk one night, yelling about haters trying to ruin his business. Said someone was out to get him. Said he knew who it was. I let him scream. I didn't even get off the couch. When he stormed out, he slammed the door so hard it cracked the frame. That night, I took the flash drive to a lawyer. I told him the truth. Told him I'd given Trey the inheritance. That it went into a business under Trey's name. That I had proof it was my money. That I had messages where he promised to share ownership. The lawyer looked it over and said I had a solid civil case. Maybe even a fraud claim. It was going to take time. But it was real. 2 weeks later, Arlene served Trey an eviction notice. The shop had to be cleared out in 10 days. I watched him carry stuff out one night from my car across the street. He didn't see me. He looked tired. Angry. Alone. Kendra wasn't with him. I knew why. See, I wasn't done yet. I bought one of her glow serums online under a fake name. Sent it to a friend who worked at a university lab. I asked him to test it. Came back, 70% water. 30% coconut oil. No preservatives. Nothing safe. No proper labeling. I sent the results to the Ohio Attorney General's office. Also to the Better Business Bureau. I even reported her PayPal business for fraud. Then I made a burner Facebook account and posted the lab results in every one of her customer support groups. I didn't comment. I just posted and disappeared. Refund requests exploded. Her page went dark. A week later, I saw her post a story where she cried into her phone camera, blaming jealous bitches for trying to ruin her. That was the first time I smiled in months. But the best part? Trey still didn't know I was behind any of it. 2 months passed after Kendra's little breakdown. Trey's garage was empty. The sign was gone. Social media pages were quiet. Nobody was talking about his custom bikes anymore. He stopped coming home completely. I didn't ask where he went. I didn't care. I kept quiet. I didn't show off. Didn't post about him. I let him think his world was falling apart by accident. But then something strange happened. I got a call from an unknown number. It was a woman. Her voice was shaky. "Are you Marcy?" I said yes. "You don't know me, but I need to tell you something about Trey. You don't owe me anything, but I think you deserve to know." She said her name was Tasha. She used to work part-time for Trey at the shop. Helped with office stuff, invoices, parts orders. Said he paid her under the table for a while. At first it was fine. Then he started flirting. Then touching. Then the comments got worse. "I quit the day he called me shop bitch in front of a customer," she said. I asked her why she was calling me. "Because I was there the day he opened the shop account. He told the banker you were just a silent investor. He laughed about it. Said you were lucky to be part of it at all." I didn't say anything for a while. Then she added something else. And Kendra wasn't the first. Turns out, Kendra was just the one who lasted the longest. There were at least 3 others. Girls he brought around the shop. Said he was training them. Most didn't stay more than a month. "Just thought you should know," she said. Before you waste more time trying to fix anything. I thanked her and hung up. I didn't feel shocked. Or heartbroken. I felt something deeper. Colder. Like cement setting inside me. That same night, Trey finally texted me again. After almost a month of silence. Can we meet? Just talk. I'm sorry for how everything went. I was confused. I messed up. I want to fix it. I stared at the message for a long time. And then. I said yes. We met at a little dive bar we used to go to near 5th Street. I picked it on purpose. It was quiet and dark, and I knew the bartender, Nikki. I told her ahead of time to keep an eye out. She said she had me. Trey showed up late. Looked thinner. Beard was scruffy. He smiled like nothing happened. Hey, he said. You look good. I didn't smile back. He launched into a whole speech. About how things got out of hand. How Kendra used him. How people turned on him. How he wanted to rebuild the business, the right way, and this time with you on paper. He even slid a new business card across the table. It had both our names on it. He said he had a plan to start a mobile mechanic service. Less overhead. Bigger reach. You and me, babe. Real partners. I kept my face straight. I asked, so who funded this? He paused. I'd been talking to a guy out of Cincinnati. Some investors. I nodded slowly. I didn't ask any more. I let him talk. Let him think I was warming up. We said goodbye. I left. He hugged me like he thought he still had a chance. But what he didn't know was I had already contacted the Ohio Department of Taxation. Because see, Trey never filed a business tax return. Not once. Not for the garage. Not for merchandise. Not for parts. Not for labor. Not a single damn thing. All the profits he kept bragging about. The ones I helped him make. He pocketed them all. Didn't report any of it. And I had the statements to prove it. I mailed it all in. 3 weeks later, I got a letter confirming the investigation had started. I also contacted the 3 girls I found online, former shop assistants. Told them if they wanted to join a class action for unpaid wages, I had a lawyer they could talk to. 2 of them responded. 1 already had a lawyer ready. Kendra, meanwhile, was working part-time at a tanning salon. Someone told me she'd gone through 2 new boyfriends since Trey. One of them was married. And just when I thought the pieces were falling into place, I got a letter in the mail. Certified. No return address. Inside was a single-page printout of the blog article my cousin Shane had written. The headline circled in red marker. Underneath it, in block letters, "You think you won? Watch your back." There was no signature. I stared at the letter for a long time. The printout. The red circle. That ugly message. I didn't panic. I didn't run to the police. I just sat with it. Held it in my hands and thought, good. That meant he finally knew. Me staying silent was done more damage than screaming ever would. But the part that stuck with me most? You think you won? He still didn't get it. He thought this was about money. About getting even. About winning. He didn't understand. What I wanted wasn't money back. I wanted him to feel what I felt, used, disrespected, and replaceable. So I gave him what he feared most. Oblivion. 2 weeks later, I made my move. A final one. Quiet but brutal. I created a digital portfolio under his business name, Trey's Custom Cycles. I added screenshots of angry customer reviews, the article, the tax warning notice, which had leaked online thanks to an anonymous tip, and even the lab report about Kendra's fake skincare line. Then I packaged the whole thing with a cover letter and sent it anonymously to every investor group he'd reached out to. I had the names. I got them off his LinkedIn. He never updated his privacy settings. I also submitted copies to the Dayton Small Business Bureau under a formal ethics complaint. That triggered an audit. His Cincinnati investor backed out. One of the others sued for misrepresentation. Turns out, Trey had forged a few pre-sale orders from clients to look profitable. I didn't even know about that. That one surprised me. But the worst hit? He got blackballed in the builder scene. Word travels fast in custom auto circles. One garage owner posted publicly about hiring Trey once, until I read about the way he screwed his investor and girlfriend. It spiraled from there. Nobody would touch him. He tried starting over under a new name, T. Raymond Motors, but I sent the same packet to all his new connections, too. That one didn't last a month. Meanwhile, the labor lawsuit from the ex-employees went through. He didn't have money for a real lawyer. They won by default. He was ordered to pay $14,200 in back wages and damages. He stalled, of course. That's when the city froze his bank account. He tried calling me again. Left a voicemail. You're really gonna ruin my life over this? Over some stupid mistakes? I didn't answer. Not anymore. He wasn't even worth it. As for Kendra, she tried suing someone for slander over the serum test, claimed the lab results were fake. Turns out, the university's legal department didn't appreciate being accused of fraud. They hit her with a cease and desist. She shut down everything after that. Word is, she left Dayton. The tanning salon fired her when customers complained about unprofessional behavior. No one would say what that meant, but I had a pretty good guess. I never spoke to her again. I didn't need to. She left Trey. Took whatever little clout she had and ran. I didn't come out of this untouched. The legal fees hurt. I drained the rest of my savings fighting him in court to try to recover my inheritance. I won a judgment, but collecting it? That's another story. He didn't have the money anymore. I got half of it back eventually, $58,000, through garnished wages when he started working at a chain auto shop outside of Toledo. It was humiliating for him. He used to brag about never working for the man. Now he was just another name on a schedule, changing oil under a guy named Greg. That felt good. But the biggest revenge? It wasn't the money. It wasn't even the lawsuits or the business collapse. It was that I moved on. I used the money I got back to enroll in a trade school. Diesel mechanics. I was the only woman in my class at first. Didn't matter. I passed every exam. Graduated early. Now I work at a major fleet shop outside Columbus. Full benefits. Union pay. My own set of tools. My own damn name on my locker. Sometimes guys come in, see me, and say, "You sure you know what you're doing?" I look them right in the eye and say, "I rebuilt my life from the ground up. This truck's nothing." They usually shut up after that. Last I heard, Trey tried to sue me for emotional damages. That was tossed out in 5 minutes. Because there's no law against letting someone dig their own grave. And all I did was hand him the shovel. So yeah, maybe I didn't get everything back. But I got what I needed. And every time I tighten a bolt or start an engine I fix myself, I think of that smirk on Kendra's face, that hotel receipt, that stupid look Trey gave me when he saw me standing in that parking lot, and I smile. Not because I won. But because they lost. And they know it.